critical care paramedic or flight paramedic for Medforce Heavy Medical Transport that's out there at the hospital, the helicopter. And then him and I are both adjunct instructors for Southeastern Community College. So we teach in the EMS programs. I'm going to start out with hold all of your questions if we can, questions, stories, statements, till the end. We'll cover them all at the end. So I've been involved in, I need to update that. I've been involved in EMS now for 10 years, rolled over on my 5th year. So, anybody have any interest in fire and EMS before we start?
I think medical field.
There you go. There you go. So what does EMS stand for? It stands for Emergency Medical Services. It can be traced back to the Civil War era. In 1865, Cincinnati, Ohio incorporated their very own first civil ambulance service, and then New York wasn't too far behind them. In the 1950s, though, most of the ambulances were hearses. And why this was either we were going down the route where we were making the patient stable and took them to the hospital, or they had passed away. Well, they're already in the hearse, so we'll just take them to the funeral home. That was their theory behind that. And some of them would have surgeons on them at the time. In the 1960s, though, they became more regulated as they weren't before, and then the National Registry of Emergency Medical Technicians was formed after that in the 1970s, I believe, yes. So when I say EMS, there's different levels of providers. There's your EMR, or Emergency Medical Responder. This was the bare minimum requirement to work on an ambulance. Most of the time, this would be for a volunteer position. Then you would jump up to the emergency medical technician. This is usually the minimum requirement to work on a career or a paid ambulance service. This person would be considered a basic life support provider. They could do the basic level of treatments. Then there's the advanced emergency medical technician. This is where ALS, advanced life support, starts. You don't see this too often because people usually just go straight from their EMT to their paramedic class. Paramedic, this is the true ALS. This is what you see most of the time. You can go above that and get an endorsement that would be a critical care paramedic endorsement. Some of the cool procedures that they can do, on this one, we're going to talk about airway. In these two, they can put in what's called a King LT tube. It's just a tube that they put in. They put it in your mouth, and it has balloons that air up, and then they can breathe for you. When you get into the, all three of these can do that. Then when you get into the paramedic, they can do what's called endotracheal intubation. So there's two holes. When we look in here, one goes into our esophagus down to our stomach, and then one goes into our trachea that goes into our lungs. They would use a tool to open up your mouth, and they would guide that tube into the trachea that would go directly into the lungs. That's a more advanced airway. And then the critical care paramedic, they get to do what's called a surgical tracheotomy, where they'll make an incision in your neck, and then they'll cut into the trachea, and then they insert a tube there. That's just an example of a cool procedure that these all can do. Places that you can work with an EMS, you can work for ground ambulances, specialized ambulances, you work in an in-hospital setting, fire department, or an air medical transport. I'm going to talk to you a bit about the ambulances now. There are different types. There's your traditional 911 ambulance. This is the Burlington Fire Department ambulance. We are a 911 service. So if you call 911, you will get one of us. This is what the inside of it looks like. It's pretty roomy. We have a cardiac monitor to look at your heart. We have an airway bag to help you breathe. We have different medications stored throughout this ambulance. This is a Sprinter ambulance. This is what you see when they're doing interfacility transports. So when we're going from one hospital to another, you'll see this ambulance. And it is not as roomy as the other ambulances. These are typically patients that need to go to a higher level of care. So, for example, they need to go up to the University of Iowa. Then you get into your specialized units. So you see this one, there's some that are coming from down, I see a lot of pictures from ones that are down south. This is called the stroke unit. Does everybody know what a stroke is when somebody has a stroke? Perfect. So what makes this one so specialized is a stroke has to be diagnosed with a CT machine is what they usually use. You can with an MRI, but that takes too long. CTs are like that. So that is an actual CT machine that will slide up on these rails, and they'll put the patient's head in it, and they'll scan it, and they'll send the images off to a hospital, and they'll say, hey, yes, this patient is having a stroke, or no, this patient is not. And that'll help them kind of direct them where they need to take the patient as far as hospitals go. So this truck will only go out on strokes. Another one could be a critical care children's hospital. This one is the University of Minnesota. They have a few of these in their fleet, and they cost more. They cost at $1 million or a little more than that to build one of them. They're just so advanced with all of the equipment inside of it, and simply the truck itself is super expensive. I hate to imagine the price tag on the chassis alone. It's super interesting because that's a starlit ceiling inside of there, and it's built for kids to help keep them calm, because the inside of an ambulance can be a little scary. So in these, you can see a respiratory therapist, a nurse, and a paramedic. Sometimes they'll even bring a doctor with them in these. Premature babies that are born that didn't stay in the mother long enough, they go in this thing, which is called an isolette. That's where the baby will sit. There's a cardiac monitor to watch the baby. There's a ventilator that will provide breaths for the baby, and then medication pumps that will, when they have IVs, that will feed them medications to the exact amount. And so this isolette typically goes in the back of this ambulance. They'll swap out their regular cot for that isolette, and they drive all over their state or regions to get these NICU babies. This one's pretty cool. It's starting to pop up more. This one is also in Minnesota. It's called an ECMO unit. So what ECMO does, I don't know what exactly ECMO breaks down for. But I do know ECMO, the process is basically where they put a cannula in either your carotid artery or your femoral artery, and they pull the blood out and they oxygenate it, and then they pump it back into the body to be pumped throughout the rest of the body. It basically bypasses the lungs and the heart to give it time to either heal or to buy us some time to do a heart or a lung transplant. That's what the inside of this ECMO unit is. Another thing it can do is if somebody's having a heart attack, they can go in and they can stent the patient. There's a CT machine right there, a fluoro machine that's shooting the image right now. This presentation, I'm talking about EMS. While him and I work for the Burlington Fire Department, it's not all about it. This is just where I'm going to touch on it briefly about how it is as an EMS provider for the Burlington Fire Department and some history with the fire department. The Burlington Fire Department was established in 1841. There's a total of 3 stations. There's one downtown, which is Station 1. Station 2 is our airport station. And then Station 3, this one's a little different. It's in the West Burlington, well technically it's Burlington, but it's out there right by West Burlington. Hoping within the next couple of years to have a new Station 3 built, which would be really nice. We don't work your normal shifts. So we work 24 hours on and then we get 48 hours off. So how many hours are in a day?
24.
Perfect. So we work 1 whole day and then I get 2 whole days off. So that means you need 3 shifts of folks. So there's shift 1, 2, and 3. Him and I belong to shift 3. So notice I put 1, 2, and 3 again. So it goes off a day, on a day, off a day, on a day. And I'll talk a little more about it in the next slide. We are all required to be firefighter paramedics by the end of our 3rd year in order to work for the fire department. Each shift will have a maximum of 15 personnel and then a minimum of 11. So with people taking vacation time and people calling in sick, the lowest we will drop to is 11 people for all 3 of those stations. Those 11 people make up those 3 stations. It's not 11 per station, although that would be really nice, but definitely overkill. We provide we cover EMS calls for most of Des Moines County, and then provide the ALS services in Henderson County, Illinois. So I want to talk about some good things that we've got going for us at the Burlington Fire Department. That brand new Station 3 should hopefully be built in 2026, hopefully. We have very nice equipment with more in the works. We have a brand new fire engine, I guess we could say, that's being built right now in Florida. We have great team dynamics. Who here plays sports? Hands up. Okay, so it's just like your sports team, but we have that in the firehouse. We all understand each other's strengths and weaknesses. We work well together. We communicate well together. There's opportunities for advancement. You can work your way up to drive the fire engine like Griffiths does, or you could go the officer route. You could become a lieutenant. You can go to a captain, then a battalion chief, fire marshal, deputy chief, or even the chief, the big boss man. It is a great schedule, if you ask me, that has great paid time off and paid sick leave. So if I were to be sick today, I just simply say, hey, I got a call in sick. My back has really been killing me. I don't think I'm not going to be good today for work. They say, okay, hope you get feeling better, and I get paid that whole day as if I'm there. It's really nice. Then the paid time off for like sick or for vacation and what we call comp time, we get a total of 15 days off every year, starting out. Then when you hop to your 5th year of service, you get six vacation and 10 comp. So it works its way up to about, I think the max you can have is what, 25 or 25 days off.
15 days a year sound like a lot of time off?
No?
No.
Let me break it down for you. So if I want to take a day, and this is my shift 3 day, I took 1 out of my 15 vacation / comp days off. I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row that I'm off of work. So I get 15 5 days in a row off. How about now? Does that sound like a lot of time off of work now? Yeah? Griffiths made a good point with the last group. Yeah, hit on it. It's a cool thing.
So, how many days a year do you guys go to school?
365.
No.
180, right? You guys are in school 180 days a year. Take a guess about how many days a year I go to work. About 100. Does that seem like a lot of time off now?
Yeah.
That's 265 days off work.
So,
We got 80 more.
with all your vacation time, your comp time, then when you call in a couple times here and there with being sick, I only work 100 days a year. So I get all the rest of the time of the year to do whatever I want. If you want to go on vacation, if you want to just stay home and sleep, whatever you want, it's up to you. Does that sound better now?
Yeah.
It's such a good time off. Like I've got 3 vacations already planned out for this year. Going to I'm going to Tennessee in June. In July I'm going to North Carolina to be on a beach, and then in August I'm going to go to New York for a week. And I still have plenty of vacation time to take if I want.
So we got people that'll take the entire summer off. We got people that take the entire winter off. It's kind of up to you when you want to be off.
We have really good trading as well. So say him and I don't work the same shift. If I said, hey Luke, I need this day off, can you work for me? And he says yes. Granted, he will work 48 hours straight, but I will be off of work and I will still get paid as if I'm at work. So my paychecks are still going to be great. And then when he needs that time off, I pay him back, and he's going to get paid as if he's at work the day that he's actually off of work. And with that, when he said take the whole summer off, I did it a couple times where I took all of June off with trades. People were trading all of my days off, and then in July, I took all of my vacation days, and then I took half of August off with remaining time. So I had a summer break just like you guys have for schools, but I'm an adult now, and I have a summer break, which is really nice. I would like to hear of another career or job field that could offer that amount of time off. We have amazing benefits. You guys don't think about that right now, and I get it. I am 29 years old now, and when I was in your shoes at your guys' ages, 15, 16, 17, 18, I didn't care about benefits. I wasn't thinking about it. But now looking forward, it is extremely important that you find a job that has good benefits, because you want to retire at a good age to where you can enjoy your retirement and go do whatever you want. If you ask some of your teachers here, I didn't go to this last class, I wish I would have. If you were to ask your teachers, most of them are going to be working into their mid-60s, 65, 66, 67, before they will retire. I will retire at the age of 55 years old. Actually, technically, I can retire at the age of 52 years old because I'll have my 30 years of service in. But I can't start pulling from my retirement until I'm 55, so I'll just stay in an extra 3 years and make more money. But at 55, I'm beating your teachers by 10 years to retire. It's pretty nice. And that's from the teachers that I've spoken with. Maybe it could be a little different, but the majority of them are saying mid-60s for me.
You're about right.
Yeah. And I even asked Mr. Carpenter, if you all look back to him and see what his response is, would you rather have a job that paid you a boatload of money and had just absolutely horrible benefits, or would you rather work for a job that has pretty decent, I would say really good pay, like what we have, with amazing benefits? Which would you pick?
Oh, I take the decent pay job with great benefits any day.
Because that's going to keep paying you when you're retired. When you're at home doing nothing because you choose to, or when you are older and you're traveling the country, that retirement is what's paying you to still do what you want to be doing.
The cops are going to have the same pension program, guys. I'm making more money retired than when I was working because of how it works out, how the system's set up on my pension.
And then on top of that, we make we make it such a good wage that you can contribute even more into separate retirement plans. So I have my pension through here. I have a 457, which this means nothing to you guys. This doesn't. I have 2 additional retirements that are being pulled out of my check that I'm paying into that will pay me when I retire. So I'll be collecting 3 different checks when I retire. Just because you're an EMT or paramedic doesn't mean that that the ambulance or that the Burlington Fire Department is the only place that you can work. I'm going to go over some examples of some other places you can work. You can work for a hospital. This is a diagnostic imaging department. This is their CAT scan machine. Out here at the hospital, they hired me as a paramedic. Now they have a nurse doing it, but I'm sure they wouldn't be opposed to bringing a paramedic back. When a patient's getting a procedure done where they have to pull out a tissue from inside their body where they use a long needle, the paramedic would be sitting in there and they would give that patient pain medication, sedate them if they need them to be a little more sleepy or dazed. That's what this paramedic would do. You can work solely on a fire truck, not on an ambulance. This is down in the Fort Madison, Keokuk area, Lee County. Their captains ride around in these SUVs, and if, say, there's a super serious call that pops up, they will go to it and they will assist. So that's a pretty cool gig. Aeromedical transport. Anybody guess what I mean by aeromedical?
Flying.
Flying. Perfect. I liked how you explained that. That's good. Yeah. Now I'm picking up which one now. I'm not going to lie to you. There's 2 different types. There's fixed wing and then there's rotary wing. I don't know. That's right. What was that about? Got it. That's a signal. All right, I'll remember that now. I don't know anything about fixed wing. I know a little bit about rotary wing, and I'll talk to you a bit about that. This is an example of fixed wing transport. The patient will get loaded in through here. You see these when they fly people from hospital to hospital. It's obviously airport to airport. But they're moving a great distance. Like if, say, Luke had a skiing accident in Colorado, but he lives here in Burlington, they would arrange for an airplane to pick him up in Colorado and fly him back with a medical crew to take care of him. So you would have like a nurse here and a paramedic here. Your patient would sit there. There's a ventilator that would breathe for the patients if they're not able to breathe on their own, a cardiac monitor, suction devices, all sorts of equipment in those. The rotary wing, this is something I do know a little bit about again. There's different types and brands and sizes of helicopters. We're pretty fortunate that we have two in our area. We have the MedForce Air Medical Transport out at the West Burlington Hospital, and then we have the Air Evac helicopter down in the Fort Madison Hospital. MedForce is the company that I work for. They have 3 helicopters alone in their program, and they're a very small program if you ask me. There's another base for them in Kelowna, Illinois. There we work either 12 or 24-hour shifts. So when I work my day 3, if I'm going to work MedForce for 24 hours, I'll do 24 hours here and then 24 hours here. So I'll go 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. Or I'll do a 12-hour shift here. I won't do 24, 24, and 12. I give myself some time off of work. But it's really easy work because we're not on calls all the time. We do get that downtime, so that's really nice. To work for a company like MedForce, they require that you be a paramedic with your critical care paramedic endorsement, and that in addition to that, you have 5 years of experience in 911 or critical care transports. So this is the exact helicopter. It is a Airbus Eurocopter EC-135. I know that doesn't mean anything to you guys. It's a really nice helicopter. The difference between this helicopter to most helicopter services is this is a dual engine, so there's 2 engines on it. So if the one engine fails on a single engine helicopter, we're not like airplanes. You don't just simply coast, you just fall. This is a really safe program that has 2 engines, so we can fly on just 1 engine alone. So that gives us time to safely land. It's a little snug though. I'm a pretty big guy. This is where your patient's head is going to sit, is right here, so you're pretty tight and pretty close. What is so nice about MedForce's helicopters are that they're very new and they have the best of the best when it comes to avionics. There's 2 different types of flying conditions. It's called VFR and then there's IFR. VFR is visual flight rules, so I can only fly if I can see so far or if the clouds are so high. IFR is when I can't see nothing. Like you don't even know what's forward or backwards. They plug it into this GPS unit here, the autopilot, and it flies itself. And I'll show you a picture of what IFR, or a video of what IFR conditions look like. When you're working for an air medical transport unit, these helicopter pilots are like some of the best of the best. They come from all over. They have to have a minimum of 2,500 flight hours logged in a book. This pilot, his name's Woody. Woody comes from Ireland. Super nice guy. Haven't seen him in a little while. Then there's another guy. He comes from Australia. And then we have 2 guys that come from Colombia. A little interesting story behind them. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Pablo Escobar. They were living in Colombia back when they were kids, was when Pablo Escobar was causing a bunch of terror, and that's what caused him to want to come over here and fly in the well, he flew over there for the Colombian army, and then he came over here because he wasn't well liked over there. He had a bounty. How about a bit of an office view? This is where, turn our heads to it'd be to your left. We're about ready to fly into IFR conditions. That's what it looks like to fly in IFR conditions. You're flying through clouds, you can't see anything, you're trusting that computer. It's very interesting and fun to do. A little nerve-wracking. You get to see some cool views of your hometown. There's Burlington. There's the Mississippi Bridge. I didn't take these pictures. Please do not turn me into the FAA. I did not do this, I repeat. The Hawkeyes, they were playing football one day, and they have rules where like you're not supposed to fly over unless it's an emergency, or if there's another aircraft in the airspace, which conveniently there was another airplane flying around, so we had to go the long way around and watch a Hawkeye game. The nighttime views are really nice as well. Watching the sunset's always pretty. The sunrise is also pretty. This was in Chicago. We were taking a patient there. Or hell, you can even buzz over to your mom's house and make some racket, wake them up at like 6 in the morning is when this photo was taken. Say, hey, your car's looking a little dirty, I don't know. Going back to just the EMS provider, you said 12:30?
Yep.
Okay, just going back to being an EMS provider, oh man, that hurt. You have to be a good team player. You have to be a hard worker. You have to be respectful. It's going to try you so hard sometimes where you're going to go to calls and they either A, you don't think they need an ambulance, or B, they're just disrespectful to you. You can't go up to someone and just be like, what now? What hurts now? Why? You have to be compassionate. You have to have empathy. Sir, what's going on today? Can you tell me why you're calling an ambulance?
You know what I'm saying? My foot kind of hurt.
Oh, your foot hurts. Okay, well, let me help you with that. You know, we got to be respectful and kind. And another thing, I'll be honest with you, selfless. You have to be selfless. If you can't put someone else above you, this isn't the career for you. And that's okay. This isn't made for everybody. You have to be able to go into some really nasty conditions. Luke can say some stuff. We could tell you stories for days about some nasty homes we've been into. I've been into homes whether it's a hoarder house where they've got stuff, a pathway about this wide that I had to slide through sideways, and they had junk stacked this high, and I'm sliding through it just to get to my patient. Or there may be poop on the ground, or you may get body fluids on you. These are all things that we encounter and that we work through to help our patients. So, not going to lie, this job I think is one of the best jobs in the world. You will not find another job like this. And we're going to talk a little bit about our downtime. We didn't tell this last class, I don't know why, but moving forward, I want to talk a bit about what we get to do in our downtime. So EMS, we have longer shifts. We work 24/7, it's open 24/7, 365. So that means you're going to miss some family events, and that you may miss some holidays. Unfortunately, due to leap year and us working on third shift, the day 3 out of the 3-day cycle, we miss Christmas 2 out of every 4 Christmases we will be missing. You will go to some scenes that will definitely test your mental health. The pros, though, definitely outweigh the cons by far. We get to be the person to fix someone's worst day. We work those longer shifts, and by doing that, we get longer amounts of time off. We get more days off of work. Again, we work less days than you have to go to school. We work about half the amount of days you are in school. That's just so wild to me. Our benefits are some of the best out there as far as retirement, health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance. It's the best. I don't have a bill for hardly anything when I go to the doctor. There's plenty of opportunities for advancement. There's jobs all over the country in EMS. If you get your paramedic, you guys can go wherever the heck you want. Everywhere needs paramedics. Everyone everywhere wants paramedics on their service. They're trying to find them. But instead, we're taking kids out of like high school or out of a different career field, and we're paying to send them back to school. So if you come already certified, the chances are you're going to get a job wherever you want. The pay is really good on top of that. We make when I was looking this up online and comparing from all over the place, about $40,000 to $70,000 a year is what I came up with. I'm going to skip this. I'm just going to tell you that I had thought I wanted to go do a different career field, and I changed my mind and I did this. I joined this Explorer Post program that's up here at the age of 14, and I stuck with it. And what the Explorer Post program allows you to do is you will come to the fire department, you will ride with us, you'll go on calls with us, and you'll get to experience what I experienced. And by doing that, I fell in love with it. I'm like, man, this is a really cool job. It'll save you. So if you have any interest in this at all, the fire side or the EMS, consider doing this, because you can do it and find out if you like it or not before you go through college. Oh, I double clicked last time. So the education, cool part about all this is Southeastern Community College. Southeastern Community College has their own degree for paramedics. These are all the classes listed in it. You don't have to do the degree if you don't want to. I'm always going to say getting more education is the best. But if you just want to become a paramedic, you can do the EMT paramedic 1, 2, and 3. That'll take you about a year and a half to do. And you're done. You're off. You're certified. You can go work. Or you can get your Associates of Applied Science by doing all of this. All of these classes. If you want to do all of these classes, it would take you 2 years to do. So half a year. And you have a degree, a college degree. Right now you guys are in unique positions. Hands up if you're a junior or a senior. Okay. So you're and even freshmen and sophomores, you can take advantage of this. The high school will pay for you to go to SEC and take certain classes that are college credits. They pay for it, not you. College is expensive. So if you can have the high school eat some of the cost for you, you're going to be saving yourself a lot of money in the long run. You can buy yourself some new boots or some new shoes or the clothes or that new iPhone you wanted with the money you saved by having the high school pay for your college. You can take your EMT while you're in high school, and then at the age of 17 you can take it and test for it, but you won't get your license till you're 18. But you can have that part done, so as soon as you graduate high school, you can go right into paramedic school. We had one guy that did it. Andy Crooks is his name. He did his, I remember this because I would see him in high school and he was doing his EMT classes. Bless you. It was very interesting, and he got an early start in his career. He started at the age of 20. He started at 20. We just had a guy, he got his 1 year on here recently, and he started at the age of 19. So, you can start pretty young with this. I'm going to end on a quote that I think is pretty important, and this goes about anything in life, not just to get on a fire department. Do the work that others aren't willing to do, and you will get the things that others will never have. If you go through life and you do the bare minimum, you are in high school right now. What you choose to do these next few years will drastically impact how the rest of your life goes. If you think a C or a D is good enough, it's passing, you're wrong. You're not going to get into a nice college with C's and D's. A's and B's you will. And if you want to get into a high program, you need a good GPA? GPA. You need a good GPA. So that's why it's important that you pay attention in school, you do get good grades, and then outside of high school. If you just do the bare minimum, expect a bare minimum life. You're not going to have too many things that are like not the super great things. You won't have a Corvette, or you won't have a beach house. But if you put in the extra work now and you work hard at your career, you can have those nice things. I'm not bragging at all when I say this. I'm 29 years old. I have a house that's halfway paid off. Almost, I could probably have it paid off in the next couple of years if I want to. I have a car that's paid off that's really nice. I'm on track to buy a truck here soon. I go on vacations all the time. I go see concerts all the time. And then the next goal, once I pay my house off, is I'm going to try to find a place and buy a place on the East Coast so I can go to a beach if I want to, because I love the Carolinas, and that's my thing. So do what you want. If you want to slack off, expect not such an exciting life. That's what that quote tells me. I said to him that we're going to talk about how this job, there's not another job like it out there. When we don't have calls, we're not running calls. Here's how the typical day goes at the firehouse. We start our morning. We come in. Shift starts at 8. We usually show up around anywhere from 7:30 to 8 o'clock. And if he is on shift today and I'm coming in tomorrow for him, I come and I talk to him. Hey, Luke, how was your day before?
Good.
What's going on with the ambulance? Anything?
Nothing missing.
Nothing missing? Everything's good? Cool. We had our talk. I know what my truck's looking like. Then I sit around the table for another 10, 15 minutes, shoot the breeze, hey, how's the wife, how's the family, while I'm enjoying some coffee. Then we go down and we do a morning meeting. Then after the morning meeting, we go and do my truck check, make sure everything's there that Luke said was there. I put my stuff on it, and then I do like a training. We'll maybe do a training a day, and then I answer some emails, and then I'm done. That's usually done around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We get a really nice lunch in there. If you look at, never mind, I'll just refer to me. That's rude of me. If you look at me, I eat really well. I'm not a super skinny guy. You looked at my stomach. Why'd you look at that? You really think I'm that big? That's kind of cool. We eat really well. We eat together as a family. It's really nice. And I would honestly say outside of work, I hang out with my coworkers from work. Them are my best friends. I have no doubt in my mind that Luke Griffiths wouldn't do he would do everything I asked him if I really needed it. Hey Luke, I need a kidney. He'd be like, I'm on my way, which hospital? For example. We would do anything for each other, and that's really awesome to have. So hanging out with him at work is a bonus. I'm getting paid to hang out with my best friends. So after 2 o'clock, we can go to our lounge that we have of our fire station that has couches and chairs. The cops are really jealous of this. They are.
Yeah.
It's all right. We don't have a donut shop. We will watch movies together in there. We will watch sporting events. We cook some great meals. I remember on my old shift, you guys ever heard of a nacho table?
Oh, yes.
We put tinfoil down on one of our tables and we made a nacho table out of it, and we were picking and eating and watching the Super Bowl. All while I'm getting paid that 40 to 70 grand that I'm talking about. Name another place that you can go to and I sleep at night. If I'm not on an ambulance call, I'm asleep at night. Or if I'm not on a fire call, I'm asleep at night. While I'm getting paid. Tell me another place that you get to do all that. Anybody got any ideas? Exactly. That's why this is literally the best job in the world.
I wouldn't say the best.
I think it's the best.
I would say it's the best, but it's not. I would say it's second out of being a cop.
No.
I appreciate you, Chris.
You're not getting extra credit for that. I know what you're thinking, but it is.
So when we show up to 911 calls, nobody hates us. People.
So you're saying they hate the cops? You're
Ask
saying
them,
they hate
ask
the cops
them.
more
Ask
than you
them.
Why are
guys?
you showing up to that 911
You're saying you
call?
hit the-
You guys to make the scene safe for you guys.
We're showing up to help people on their worst day.
They're always excited to see us. Sometimes they're excited to see the cops, but not most of the time.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
There you go. See, he said it. That's true. If this was a mic, I just dropped it.
But who also has to make it safe when you guys go in?
see?
I'm not saying cops don't have their spot, but I'm just saying it's pretty cool being a fireman. And another common thing that has kind of gone away, and people may have thought of it, maybe you guys don't. Well, shoot. You can be a woman in the fire service. The old days of it was because you're a woman. I'm looking in your direction. You're like, why me? It used to be a thing that it was only guys were in the fire service, and that's wrong. We've got 4 women on our fire department. Where did we get 4? There's not 4. There's 3.
Is there 3 now?
Hillary, Maggie, Fairchild. It's 3. It's 3 because Cheyenne and Sam left. Not Cheyenne. Corinne. But yeah, we've got women on our fire department. So anybody can join the fire service. Anybody can be an EMS provider. If I'm going to get to the questions here in a second, I want to reiterate that that's on your board. That you can join the Explorer Post program if you have just the slightest of interest in it or just curious about it. You come to a couple meetings and then you get to sign up and you can do a shift where you ride with us and you get to see it. Can you guys not spare a few days to see if maybe this is the career for me and this is the greatest job out there and you can see why we love it as much as we do? I'm not saying there's not other good jobs out there, but this is one of the best ones out there. So
At least cops get a good breakfast, and you guys get to sit around eating popcorn, watch movies.
Oh, we
Our
got a
cops
great
get to
breakfast
enjoy
too.
some nice, delicious
what are you
breakfast.
talking about?
Chris, we don't always get good breakfast.
You guys eat donuts.
If
Come
you
on.
want to talk about
You
food,
guys
come
talk
to the
about it all
fire.
the time. Probably just don't eat eggs.
A lot of times we didn't get to eat.
5 dozen eggs.
And then the firemen are at their firehouse, shoving their faces full of food,
Exactly.
living the good life. You know what I had for Easter Sunday at the firehouse? I was working on Easter. I had prime rib, cheesy mashed potatoes, big old things of asparagus, and I can't even remember how many pies were there.
Okay, now I take that back.
Yeah, see, told
That's
you.
better than donuts. I gotta say, that is better than donuts.
It's amazing.
The fire department guys eat pretty good.
And I mean, there's so many different avenues. There's another career another way I didn't talk about. There's a guy I met once. I had the opportunity to do this, but it just didn't work out with my schedule. And I know there's a guy on our department now, I just found this out about Hector, that the guy that I'm referring to, there's a doctor that provides his services down for the Texas Motor Speedway. And one of our guys is supposedly going to be flying down with him and being that doctor's paramedic. So he gets to fly down and be the paramedic for the raceway and assist that doctor, and he gets paid to watch a NASCAR race. And we get to do that all the time around here too. We go out to 34 Raceway. We we watch the races. If something happens, then obviously we help them. The mixed martial arts fights, we get to go be the paramedics for there. Him and I, was it you and I? Yeah. Him and I this year we went to Snow Bowl, and we got to be the paramedics, and we sat up right up front. We got to watch the Snow Bowls.
All these events, you're sitting front row and everything.
Getting paid. Absolutely. There's so many pros to this that I could go on forever.
Like concerts, you guys have to go to.
Yep, sometimes concerts, we'll be at concerts. When you go to, like, I know there's some people that work for, it's called JCAS, Johnson County Ambulance Service, that's up in Iowa City. There are people that their sole jobs are employed to be paramedics and to be walking around the Iowa Hawkeye games. You just walk around there just in case something happens. And 9 times out of 10, nothing happens. You're just there to be ready. And you get to watch these awesome events.
That happens at every level too. So if you want to go to a Cardinals game or a football game for Green Bay or whatever, like DeMar Hamlin, you guys know DeMar Hamlin? Have you heard that story?
Yeah.
That was paramedics there that helped save that guy's life too.
Right. Yes, sir. Question?
Do you have to have high school and college degree, or can it just be one or the other?
So for the Bearment, that's a good thing. I wish I would have brought the flyer. Right now, you just need to have either a high school diploma or a GED as well as a driver's license. So I'm gonna pick you in the back corner of the sign. Yeah. What's your name? Damon? Damani? Huh? Okay. Let's say he graduates tomorrow, right? Well, he's got his high school diploma. Come on, shake. Yeah, tomorrow's the day. Yeah. He's got his high school diploma and he's got his driver's license. He can march down to the fire department, fill out an application, and turn it in. As long as we have a testing cycle. And he can be put on a list to potentially be hired by us. And say we select him, we're like, hey guy, we like you. We want you want to come be part of the team, we'd like to give you a job. And he says yes. We can technically hire him at the age of 18 with a high school diploma and a driver's license. That's the bare minimum requirement.
The other cool thing is, they'll pay for him to go to school.
Yeah, we'll pay for you to go to the EMT school, we'll pay for you to go to the paramedic school, and we'll pay for you to go to a fire academy over in Illinois for 7 weeks. Which I hear is very interesting. You get to do a lot of cool things. Is it a little rough? It's kind of like it's an academy, so I mean it can be a little rough sometimes, I'm sure too. I'll be honest.
I got a video of that.
Huh?
I have a video of it, I'll show 'em.
Oh yeah. So like, we'll hire you that way with those bare minimum requirements. Obviously, if you can come and apply as an already certified EMT, that's my point. If you take your EMT in high school and you put on your resume, hey, I have my high school diploma, my driver's license, and guess what? I just graduated high school and I got that EMT license. What's your name? Nope, you in front. August. Okay, guess what? August had his EMT and Damon did not. No offense, my friend Damon, I think we're really good friends here. We're gonna probably give the job to August because he's a more qualified candidate.
Actually,
But that's not always the case too.
actually,
We're looking for a good person.
Actually, why not hire somebody that knows CPR, which I actually took CPR class one time,
Well, there you go.
to where I actually know.
That could be something to put on the application as well. So there's all sorts of like opportunities for you guys just in high school. What's up in the back?
What was the hiring process?
Yes, the paper.
You won't let
The
us-
hiring process is that you fill out an application, you submit that application, and then you have to come do a physical agility test. You have to do a course, and then you have to do a written test, and then you have to do an interview. So the physical agility, and that puts you on a list. It ranks you on a list, and then you sit on that list until we have a position open up, and then they'll go to that list and they'll be like, yeah, you know, August was a cool guy, but like Damon was really cool too, so I think we're gonna give Damon this go around.
Right, what was the third part? Fill out application, turn in application.
The test though, if anybody has any interest, like if I've changed anybody's minds to explore this, the test is a general knowledge thing. You don't have to know a single thing about firefighting to go take this written test. It's general knowledge. Can you spell? Can you write? Can you do math? If a gear turns this way and it's attached to this gear, will it rotate this way or will it rotate this way? It's super simple stuff that anybody can pass.
McIntyre passed it.
That's right, look at me. That's all right, don't worry. Not every cop can pass the firefighter's exam. That's why they went to be cops.
Policeman's really tough.
Huh?
Policeman's really
No. I said, you heard me, I said they didn't pass the fireman's exam, so that's why they went to be cops. Does anybody have any interest now after all of this? Hands up if you change, yeah, a little bit? Okay,
What changed your guys' minds?
yeah, what changed your mind into looking into this?
That's,
Yep, benefits,
Oh, yeah.
and good pay, right?
Working the 2 days off. And
yeah, the schedule.
Schedule,
Helping more
Yeah.
people out.
helping people out, right?
Well,
So-
more people out.
I'm gonna recommend to all of you, seriously, if you're looking into this, check that Explore Pros program out. Since we've identified, hands up if you are interested in fire, whether you change your mind or you've always had it. So get with Mr. Carper at some point, or he will get with you, because I believe it's in May, it's happening. I'm busing a bunch of you students out to the Station 2, and we're gonna cut up cars with the Jaws of Life. So that's gonna get you more hands-on experience with this, and maybe it'll change your mind a little more to where this is what you wanna do. And that Explore Post program is another great thing, because then you will come and you will ride on shifts with us. You can do 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock Monday through Friday, and then Saturdays you can ride from 8 to 4, 8 a.m. to 4. So you will be on the fire engine with us. You will ride in the seat behind us with the lights and sirens going to a call. You'll see everything. You may even be able to help us. We all try our best to get you guys involved with us. That's what an Explore Post is. You are exploring the career. And there's his email there. You guys can all get my email from Brian Carper as well. I'm sorry, Mr. Carper. And I'll answer any other questions that I may miss today, but go ahead.
Do you guys have a gym in any of the stations?
Yes, we have them in Station 1 and Station 2. Station 3 is a little small, but when we build our new station here in 2026, that will have a gym in it. We have everything you have at home. We have a gym, we have a laundry room, we have showers, we have our own bed. We have our own cubicles. Station 3 should have your own bedroom. Great kitchens, everything.
Where's the new station gonna be?
Where's the new one gonna be? You guys know where the dog pound is?
Yeah.
On Roosevelt, it's gonna be right next to that.
Where the McDonald's is down there, it's up and over that bridge.
So we're in the design process right now. We just started the whole designing of it and everything, so.
Oh, you know, math.
Yes, sir.
My question, what was the dumbest call you guys ever been called to?
A guy that dropped a pop can on his toe.
A pop can on his
Wow.
phone,
Empty pop can on his toe.
And it's
Yep.
shattered.
No, he just wanted, he has some, cognitive disabilities, and so that, he would call for some weird stuff, Frank. He would call for some weird stuff like that, yeah. If you heard your teacher laugh at that, he knows this individual and,
Frank.
yep. But I will say this, that, this job has given me some of the best stories ever. I can tell you guys stories that would have you cracking up, laughing, crying in laughter. They're so good.
What is that?
That's our, turn it up a little bit.
Email to respond to the jet stop north. It's going to be 2760 Mount Pleasant Street. For a conscious male, feeling lightheaded, having chest pain and difficulty breathing. He's going to be in the restroom of the gas station there. Again, just up north is 2760 Mount
So those are
Pleasant.
the tones that we hear. That's what tells us we have a call to go on.
Conscious male.
We all carry radios, and except for me right now, I left mine in the truck on accident. Excuse me.
Are you gonna answer that or?
Nope, that's not us. So we all know like where our district is, where our areas that we cover calls, and that wouldn't be for us. That's an ambulance call. We're in the fire engine right now. The patient is conscious.
You can show up on scene.
No.
Cool, nice.
That was quick.
What was that?
On city?
Yes, sir.
What are some of the jobs that you come?
What's what?
What are some of the jobs you come?
Prior to this?
Yeah.
At the agency?
Yeah.
What's that?
At what? At the agency.
agency.
So I was a firefighter EMT, and then I became a firefighter paramedic, and now I am a lieutenant, and I will not spell it out for you guys, but I will pull it up. We're getting there. We're going. We're making moves.
A few moments later.
Perfect. Right there. Lieutenant. And don't ask me how long it took me to remember how to spell it. That took forever. What's, yes, sir. What's up? So the ranking would go, you've got your firefighters. Well, if we're to be honest, it would go like your firefighter EMT, then your firefighter paramedic. It's not like an official ranking, but our paramedics make the decisions when it comes to ambulance calls. Then we would have your engineers who drives the fire engines. Again, it's not an actual promoted position yet. Hopefully we get there, we'll see. Then you would have a lieutenant, then you would have a captain, then you would have a battalion chief, then you would have your fire marshal, then you would have your deputy chief, and then your chief. So there's ways to climb. There's 3 lieutenants, 3 captains, 3 battalion chiefs, 1 fire marshal, 1 deputy chief, 1 chief. So there's plenty of like supervisor roles there. Yes, sir.
What was one of your funniest like stories as an EMT?
My funniest one would not be appropriate to tell you guys in the school setting.
Tell us.
Let's just put it this way. It ended in like the whole emergency room all laughing and crying and like laughter at it. It was good stuff. God, I don't know. Do you have any appropriate funny stories?
Nothing appropriate.
Yeah, none of them are really
Can
appropriate.
you give us a little context?
No, I can't. No, they're pretty rough.
Let's hear.
Join the fire service and you'll get plenty of your own. I could fill out a notebook for days on it. Yes, sir.
Why did you get into this career?
Because I love helping people.
Oh.
I love helping people. I love giving back to my community that has given me a lot. Griffiths?
So for me, I got into this, I kind of grew up in it. My dad was a firefighter and EMT, my stepdad was a cop, so I've always been in public service my whole life. It's just something I grew up with. I enjoy helping people. I enjoy not doing the same thing every day, right?
Oh, that's a big one.
That's a big thing for me. You never know what you're gonna do. You're never doing the same thing every day. You're never sitting in the same office behind a computer all day. You never know what you're gonna do, where you're gonna end up. I've had days where I've been on 7 or 8 different rigs. I'll get on the ambulance, then I'll be on a fire truck, then I'll be in the ladder truck. Next thing you know, I'm on a boat out on the river doing something. Then you're out in the timber fighting a wildfire. I've been up to Yarmouth when the grain bins collapsed and dug through grain for 36 hours. You never know what's gonna happen. That's what I love about this job.
You have this poster over here, and this has just been recently updated, and this tells you a lot about us. There's no experience required. Your starting pay range is anywhere from $50,767 all the way up to $65,587. You will get $4,500 once you get your paramedic. You'll get that $4,500 on top of that for having your paramedic. Already talked about it. We have a total of 7 weeks of paid time off. That's not just time off where I'm not getting paid. That's 7 weeks where I'm getting paid to do nothing. We have new apparatus, new equipment all the time. The minimum requirements I already talked about. Take a look at this.
You have a question?
That's all right. Not the first time it fell.